So, this next part, we're going to talk about the Hawkeye finale series overall, the big finish for the Hawkeye series, which happened just a few days, or basically 1 week after No Way Home came out.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering why I'm stiff, I injured myself, so that's why I'm stiff. But it came out, and it was the longest Disney Plus episode yet for a Marvel show. And it was about an hour. It starts off, right where episode 5 kind of finishes with. And overall, it seemed like it wasn't very liked on the internet, which...
Yeah, I saw
the internet's not a very positive place.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things, and I didn't see what the internet saw when it came to that, but...
It was... A lot of people had a similar feeling than I did. They were just a lot more negative about it. This episode felt really rushed to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of storylines you had to finish up.
And the last scene jumped back and forth so much. It was like they wanted it to be separate, but didn't do it. They just put them together. I don't understand. So they did 6 episodes. It was planned they did 6. I think this could have been 7 episodes easy and would have been just fine. So I'm not sure why they didn't just do that. Especially because it didn't really tie in with No Way Home at all. And people were talking about that. And because it didn't do the tie-in, it wasn't really necessary to rush this information at all. And it's not like there's anything planned for the following week for Marvel. And Christmas and that sort of, like, the holiday season is kind of past next week, so more people would be willing to watch next week.
Right. I mean, people are going to watch anyway.
Right. So. It seemed very rushed with no real purpose in mind.
Yeah, because it would have been what? It would have debuted on the... What was yesterday? It's the 23rd today, so 22nd.
Yeah.
So it would have been the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
before New Year's.
Okay, yeah. I think there definitely
after Boxing Day.
There definitely should have been another. There definitely probably should have been another episode just to clear up all the storylines.
And so this one was like 50-some minutes. They could have brought it down to 45, 50, made the next one another 45 or 50.
Right.
And I think they would have been able to do the Kingpin and Echo storyline. They could have done the Yelena storyline. They could have done the Kate and Hawkeye storyline.
Right.
It's just, I think they could have done each one justice as opposed to making it seem like they wanted them all to wrap up as soon as possible.
Right.
Not saying it was a bad episode. I would say it wasn't as good as 5 or 3, just personally.
Okay.
I don't know how you felt about that, but like
I forgot which ones were which.
3 was the one that we talked about last week being probably the best one.
That was the uncle one?
Yeah. Okay. And so I think that one is probably up there. I really think that the Yelena moment with Hawkeye could have been...
The only thing I did have an issue with that. And in my mind, I'm like, why is Yelena asking so many questions and keeping it going? I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. I knew it was going to happen, right? Like, Yelena's not going to kill Hawkeye. Yep. Yelena's going to come around and be good. Like, that's going to happen because that's what Nat would want. That's what makes sense for her story. But, like, I don't know. There should have been more combat where Hawkeye, or where Clint Barton rather, was like it wasn't me or something like that. Like where it's more emotional and impactful.
He kept very cool in that moment, and I didn't really.
Yeah.
Maybe it's supposed to show that he's kind of fed up and done with it, but then why would Hawkeye be considered potentially the next leader of the Young Avengers?
Yeah, or like West Coast.
Right.
So yeah, that was an issue I had because, I mean, Yelena played it where she's emotional. Like I don't want to do, like I'm hurt too. But then, like, it just kind of stretched out too long, and where she should have she's a Black Widow, she just would have been like...
And that felt stretched out because they had to show you, during that conversation, the things that were happening with Kate and Echo, and, like, it just...
Yeah. We'll get this out of the way. The Echo, Kazi, anything with Echo this episode just felt like, the only word that came to mind is, like, stale. Like, I just was not interested in that stuff at all.
It fell flat. It really not so they don't want to give too much away because the Echo series is coming out. Right. I get that. But they really made it seem like a storyline that they weren't going to show you.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense considering you brought in Kingpin.
Right.
So why bring in Kingpin where Kingpin will probably be Echo's #1 villain in the show.
Yeah.
Why bring that in if you're not going to give us anything with it.
Right. Like there should have been something like, I mean, there should have been something where like it shows Echo's, like the start of Echo's next chapter, or like that Kingpin's okay,
or even a discussion about her father.
Yeah.
Something, but instead she kills Kazi.
Yeah.
And then they basically express how much that they loved each other or liked each other. And then after she kills Kazi, she shoots Kingpin in the face at the end of the episode.
Which, according to the comics, it obviously Kingpin's not dead.
No, in the comics, Echo shoots him in the face.
Yeah,
too.
It temporarily blinds him.
Yep. In the comics, he has a white patch over both eyes temporarily.
He's temporarily like blinded by it, but he's also like a 6'8", 280, like 380 months. But like he's
and he has powers. Like he's
they have never explained his like super strength, but
he punches.
He kicks the shit out of
Kate Bishop. Punches her and she flies across the room, breaks glass, and it's like that's not happening unless you have super strength. So it's like Kingpin has powers, they just don't explain it. Otherwise it wouldn't make any sense about why he is as strong, why he can get hit at high speeds through a building and window and get up from that. Have an explosion of multiple arrows right in his face.
His stuff is bulletproof. So like all shrapnel and stuff probably would withstand it, but like the force from
but his hands should be destroyed from it. His face should be, but it's not. He's fine. Which you can say that's plot armor. You can say, but it's got to be powers of some kind. We had predictions in episode 3. We talked after doing our review. We talked about what we thought was going to be with the mom, that sort of thing. We said Madame Mask is probably a good expectation, and then we just came to the conclusion. As the show went on and we reviewed it, we thought that Echo eventually was going to find out from Hawkeye, which she did. We thought that eventually we were going to find out the mom is the true bad person, probably Madame Mask, framing Jack.
Jack seemed
framed
like
Jack.
The sword master. Like he finally got his moment where he's just slicing people up and like a little rapier and just whatever. So
found out that he was framed just like we thought. All of that stuff was fairly predictable, and because it was so predictable, I think that weighed down. Also, I think because everybody's expectations were lifted by No Way Home so much that this finale dropped. I think like, a lot of people were like, "Woohoo! Oh, this isn't No Way Home though."
Yeah, and I know a lot of people,
which is another reason why you could have given it another week.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they like hated this version of Kingpin, and like I'm thinking to myself, okay, first of all, Vincent D'Onofrio is still amazing as Kingpin. Like he's the same person. And they even asked him, they like, is it the same Kingpin as Daredevil? He's like, there's dots here that can't cross. Like,
He also said that this Kingpin was blipped.
Right.
And that this Kingpin lost a lot of power.
Yeah.
And so he's not the same person because of that too.
Right. And it's not the same like Netflix Kingpin either. So, and a lot of people are like, how did Daredevil go like toe to toe with Kingpin like for like 20 minutes straight, but then Kate Bishop wins in 5 minutes? I was like, first of all, Kate Bishop blew up a bomb in his face. Daredevil never did that. And if Kate Bishop wanted to hand-to-hand fight Kingpin would kill her.
Oh yeah.
So,
which is why Hawkeye makes a comment, you went toe-to-toe with Kingpin and walked away. That wouldn't normally happen.
Yeah. So, if you see this same Kingpin in a Daredevil series, which I hope we get, it's going to be that Kingpin.
I think we will get
It's going to be that Daredevil Kingpin, and he's going to smash Charlie Cox against brick walls. He's going to slam someone's head in the door. Like
probably still played by Vincent D'Onofrio too.
Yeah, so it's going to be, you're going to get that more brutal Kingpin, but in a show that's about like Christmas and like a family special, and like most of like the antagonists or protagonists are women. You're not going to see Kingpin beat
a lot of women.
Yeah, so
if anything, I mean, he purposefully doesn't lay a hand on Maya in a harmful way. He lets her shoot him basically.
And with Kate, he's like, "Get out of my way!" Like
with Kate, he says, "Mind your own business." Like he doesn't he was willing to hurt her, but doesn't necessarily want to.
Yeah.
There were some other things. There were some highlights of the episode. Kind of focusing on the negative a little bit. There were some highlights. Them making the arrows together, interacting was fun. There was the hint that Hawkeye's wife was Mockingbird.
So she needed the shield watch, which I assume has information in it.
Right, and he said, "Take care of your stuff." That's because it was hers.
Yeah.
So that was very cool, very interesting.
Hawkeye saying they're partners.
Kate got her mom arrested because we have proof on tape that she killed Armand. And she's been working with Kingpin, who got away, but then gets shot in the face.
But then still probably makes it away.
Still probably is fine because they pan out. What have we said before? If you don't see the death, they're not dead.
And they're not gonna
bring Kingpin in for an episode and a half.
Vincent D'Onofrio's too good, too.
Right?
Like,
and I don't think he would agree to bring back this character for an episode.
Yeah,
but and then Kate, because her mom is arrested, she's not close with Jack. She celebrates Christmas with Hawkeye and his family.
With the Bartons.
Yeah. And he makes it there. Christmas Day is when he shows up, so he kept his promise with his kids. He showed up with wrapped presents. Cool thing, Hawkeye wore his purple suit.
Yeah.
I love that he wore his purple suit.
She's like, you wore it. You look so
and
good.
He was like, well, yeah. And the way he acted, he was like, well, yeah. And he calls her his partner.
Yeah.
And then he also makes a joke. It's rare, but you meet some of those people that make you better in every way. Right. And then he talks about the police and firefighter people.
Right, yeah. And Missy's just
costume's just palatable.
Yeah. And so she's like, stop it.
And the LARPers ask Jack.
To hang out.
Cop asks if
she wants, with a sword,
if he would be willing to join her LARPing team.
Yeah.
What's LARPing? Yeah. So there were some good positives.
They actually called the dog by the name.
Lucky
now, finally.
Yep. Took a while.
Pizza dog.
It's Lucky now. Yelena ends up sparing Hawkeye, but she has the opportunity to kill him multiple times. They have their little moment where he explains to her. He said, I wish he would have explained the exact, he jumped over the edge. She hooked me. She shot a hook into my leg and latched me to the wall as she leaped. I wish he would have said that, but he said, if I tell you what happened, you won't believe me. Yeah. She doesn't believe him anyway, so he might as well try.
Right.
But then he does their secret whistle that Matt and Yelena had. They have a heart-to-heart conversation. Yelena spares him. They both say they loved her. And Yelena walks away. Yep. So we don't know where Yelena went, what's going on with her next. Their fight scene, Yelena and Kate's fight scene. Yeah. Again, funny. Yeah. The funniest part of the episode.
Yeah, they're really good together, those two.
Wanna go grab a drink?
Yeah.
Sure. After I kill Barton.
Yeah.
Kill Barton. Kill Barton first. No, you're not understanding.
And then she's like, wow, the one thing.
Kate, stay. Yeah. Don't. Getting into the elevator. Yeah. They had some their scene was hilarious.
They're really good together. And then the one thing where it's she's gonna grapple hook out of the window, and then Kate shoots her hand or something. She's like, ow, that really hurt.
Yeah, so did the kick to the ribs.
Yeah, that was a good one. She's like, yeah, not as good. She's like, you threw me or whatever. You did the throw. Yeah, that was good. Thanks, thank you. So,
stop making me like you.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good together.
So very good highlights, but it was rushed. There were, we could have had more Echo. And on that note, I saw somebody working with the show released some leaks. There was a plan for
Variety?
Not Variety. Somebody who created a basically anonymous Twitter account. Anyway, there was plans for Matt Murdock to have a cameo in the episode.
Okay.
That was cut. There was a plan to tease Eleanor as Madame Mask and actually give her the title Madame Mask. That was cut.
Would the Matt Murdock thing make sense?
After No Way Home, yeah.
Yep. But with how much was... If it was this episode, would it have made sense? Because it would have been too much?
Matt
Murdock, not Daredevil.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. So Jack got out of jail the next day.
Right.
He could have said, I have a very good lawyer, which they make you're going to need a really good lawyer comment in No Way Home.
Yeah.
His really good lawyer could have been, Mr.
I think Happy's lawyer, when it comes to that,
will be him.
No, I think that'll be Jennifer Walters.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I think even if you don't show him, Jack could have said, Mr. Murdoch's the best lawyer in town.
Right, yeah.
He could have said, even say his name.
Or Nelson and Murdoch really, yeah.
I think he could have even done that. So Murdoch, I think that would have made it make sense, and you're not throwing too much at the audience. Right. There were multiple more scenes with Echo and Kingpin, which we talked about, were cut. There was a credit scene with Kingpin that was cut, and multiple other scenes I am not allowed to say. Surprising, considering you're allowing yourself to say all this. And that they eventually would like to have Eleanor Bishop as Madame Mask, but there is a chance they don't. So all of that was potentially cut from the finale, which is why it kind of supports what we said. There was a lot cut. They could have shown those Echo and Kingpin. They could have made Echo and Kingpin the episode before the finale focus, and then the Yelena Hawkeye focus as the finale.
Sure.
And then the Madame Mask thing, she could have gone to jail and then have the reference in the finale. They could have had Jack still been in jail and then get out and mention Murdoch.
They could have had Eleanor go to jail and then Val just pays her bail and gets her out or something.
Right, exactly. So I think they could have done a better job. There were parts that were missed, but overall it wasn't bad. I don't think it was as good as a couple episodes, and I think everybody's expectations were so high from No Way Home.
Yeah, that's very tough. I was going to say, when you mentioned that earlier, when we watch something like Arcane and we get kind of spoiled by Arcane, and then now we're watching something like The Witcher, like it's hard to not enjoy. When you're watching Arcane, you enjoy the whole thing, but like Witcher, it's like, well, like I don't enjoy.
There are parts of the show so far that I'm not invested in yet,
right?
As opposed to Arcane, where
you're
so invested in everything.
In it, yeah.
And part of that is because Arcane's new. This season, Witcher is season 2, so you're already invested. So if it's not as good as the first season, so like Arcane 2 might have that. Season 2 might have that feeling.
Right.
You never know. I doubt it, but I do think those expectations are what hurt it. Overall, the show was really good. I saw a lot of people said the finale made the show overall worse than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as opposed to up to that point it wasn't as good, or it was better. I still liked it better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think the message from Falcon and the Winter Soldier was important, and getting the new Captain America was important.
When then it getting tore down, but Statue of Liberty and No Way Home.
Right.
The monument.
And you already had
This show is I say this for like,
it wasn't as good as Loki or WandaVision.
I'd say this for like the costumes.
I love the costumes.
For like the costumes are great, right? Echo's gonna get a costume, I'm sure that's gonna look badass. But Kingpin, just getting Kingpin back and getting Vincent D'Onofrio back, like you're getting Vincent D'Onofrio back in his role of Kingpin as Wilson Fisk / Kingpin. But as like No Way Home, we only got half of Murdoch. So like, just getting Kingpin back as himself. He talks the same way. He looks the same. They didn't actually like add there's rumors they were gonna do like the fat suit,
right,
and make him bigger, which I'm glad they didn't.
Same,
because
I think that rumor was to throw people off.
He looks like a big dude anyway. So
I think that rumor was to make you think it wasn't going to be Vincent D'Onofrio.
Right.
I think that was just to try to throw people off.
Sure.
I'm glad they didn't as well. And the best thing about the Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin is if you didn't see Daredevil, this was still a good reveal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, he talks the same way. He talks the same way. He said that. I think I may have already said this, that the dots aren't connecting between the two different the same things. So like, Daredevil Kingpin is not the same person as MCU Kingpin, but he took his approach the same way with the character, where like he's talking the same way.
Because he loves the character.
Yeah. So I'm happy he's back. I'm happy there's gonna be more of him, and I think the show is just worth it because of Kingpin for me. But I
like the Echo storyline up till the finale as well.
Yeah. And
then Kate, great new addition to the show. Her and Hawkeye and Yelena all just awesome. Do you have anything else to add about Hawkeye?
No.
All right, because I thought the show was very good, and the one thing I could say, because I liked it so much with Hawkeye, I could review it all day. I could do this all day.
Oh, no, I do have something to say. So when they're first watching Rogers the Musical, Ant-Man's there.
Yep.
Okay. So when you go to Endgame and they go back in time and Scott Lang goes back to the Battle of New York with Tony Stark and Iron Man, or Tony Stark and, oh my god, there's two of them, Iron Man and Captain America, right? Ant-Man's there and he's got the Loki scepter, and they're like, go back with this or whatever. someone can say that they saw Ant-Man in the Battle of New York during that time heist, and that's why Ant-Man was in Rogers the Musical, because one person said they saw Ant-Man there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's
I thought about that as well.
Yeah. Because Ant-Man wasn't there, that we know of.
He wasn't in the original Avengers movie that we saw.
Yeah. But, like, because he was seen in the Battle of New York in the time heist, probably by someone looking out their window or something.
Or somebody that was in the hotel when Loki got the Tesseract back.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
pretty cool. Makes you think.